Okay, I've got my top prepped for final sanding. A couple of notes I would like to make is I had miscut some of the rabbets and the plywood, so I had a bit of a gap around this particular box. That was my initial setup piece. I'll note that I made the top or the sides stand slightly proud of the top, because it's a lot easier to sand the sides down surface with or flush with the top than it is to sand the plywood down flush with the sides. I did use Bondo. One advantage to that is that you'll notice a pink haze around the edge. I scraped most of the excess off. When that pink disappears during the sanding process, I will know that I've gone far enough and I don't need to go any further. So let me put my herring protection in. I'm going to start with, I'm using the Festool Rotex RO-90 sander. I'm going to start with 80 grit granite paper and then move on to 120, and then that'll be good enough for veneering. When the pink looks like it's about ready to disappear, I'm going to change to 120 grit. This particular wood species is Mesquite, and I have never used that before. It's a nice looking wood, but it is quite dense and hard. I'm pretty flush here, so I think this is ready for veneering. One other advantage to fill in the gaps with Bondo, and even if I don't have that much of a gap, I'm going to use a West system epoxy to veneer the top, and that is pretty running, and the last thing I want is for that to run inside the box and connect with the felt lining on the top, or the top surface. So that's another advantage to Bondo. So let me get set up and I'll do some veneering here. Okay, I've gathered my boxes and veneers, my cawls, my clamps. I've just dispensed some West System epoxy, and I'm going to use a disposable chip brush to put this on. I like to have these little solo cups to mix this in, because I don't like cleaning anything. epoxy in it. Separate. I'll stick back in it, and when this pot is, that tells me whether I'll have a good glue joint. And then I'm just going to clamp this up. I think I'm going to stick another couple of clamps on this and make sure it's clamped well in the center. Let's set this aside and I'll get the other one clamped up. I think you get the general idea of how I'm arranging this. So.